to our presentation of Their Voice, which is all about our students helping to improve the PBIS culture in our school, in our program. So we're here today to tell you all about that and how you can incorporate that in your schools. This is our wonderful team. I am Christy. Hello. This is the rest of our crew. We have Carly, school psychologist, Marissa, fourth grade classroom teacher, Dina, fifth grade.
Christy, reading specialist.
Oh, reading specialist.
And I'm Shadia. I'm the school counselor.
We also have our principal on our team who is not here today, and then we also have a parent who is part of our PBIS team as well. So today, like I already kind of said, we are going to be talking to you about the importance of the student voice. So students, everything is about them. So we're trying to hear more from them to improve our program. We have found great success in engagement, and the whole school gets more excited when everybody's involved. It's just not coming from us, not coming from the teachers, not coming from administration. The kids have a true buy-in to our program because they are heard day after day. They are heard all the time, and they see what they're suggesting or what they're doing daily or weekly or however often we reward them. They're seeing what they want come to life, and it's great for them. And you'll hear from them a little bit later in our presentation as well. So we hope you enjoy.
All right. So one of the things, we're actually from Joe Walker Elementary School, so part of the McGuffey School District. And we're one of 2 elementary schools in the district. We're the smaller elementary school. And culture means the world to us, positive culture, and improving that, and getting everyone, to work as a community, an entire school community, meaning parents, teachers, students, staff, everyone around, just to be kind of integrated into the system. So in order to do that, we knew that we needed to include students into the decision-making process also. Because you don't feel a connection with a program unless you're being asked for your input and you take ownership of that. So what we just wanted to say was that, it's the student voice is the compass that guides us in developing a program that truly understands and supports the needs of our school community. We're always questioning our students. We're always asking for more input, provide us with feedback, and then our students are also in turn, teaching other students. And it just creates a more inclusive and positive, empowered learning environment. All right, so what we all know is that the Center on PBIS Cultural Responsiveness Field Guide says that for there to be authentic student, family, or community engagement, schools must provide families, students, and community members with meaningful opportunities to be heard, voice their opinions, and exercise leadership within the school system. So what we try to do is we promote the concept of positive culture by assisting lasting, supportive school communities, and by giving kids a voice in the school allows them to become engaged and active partners. So what we did is when and Dina's going to go into our timeline, when we had a little bit of time and we were able to implement this, because everyone is always, so busy and everything's running so fast, because it's something we had talked about for years, and we wanted to do it correctly, we wanted to do it right. But when we were able to have a little bit of time, we gave them climate surveys, gave them multiple opportunities for receiving student input by different means, and then we also created our SOAR ambassador team. So that's what we kind of want to highlight today, is how we're including, that student voice by having our SOAR ambassador program.
Okay, so I'm just going to very quickly share with you what we call our rewards, because as we talk about how the ambassadors help us and how their input affects it, we want you to understand what we're saying when we say mystery motivator or SOAR surprise, okay? So this is our, okay, first, I'm sorry. We display the SOAR charts in all the areas. That's a tier 1. I'm sure you all are aware of that. Okay, we have a JET winner every week. The teacher chooses one student who they've observed kind of going above and beyond. And we introduced that because what we were noticing is we are very intentional on making sure we give our tickets to the students who sometimes struggle, right? So you're catching them being successful, you were rewarding that. And not that we weren't rewarding our other students who are, let's face it, 99% of the time sitting there doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And we found that, you know, it was hard to do that balance, and that we wanted them to feel like they were being acknowledged as well. So that's where our JET winner, and the teacher picks that person every week. Then once the JET winner is chosen, they come down, they spin that wheel that's right there, and whatever number they get, their JET goes on our SOAR surprise hundreds chart. And then as it fills up, when we get a row filled up, they have what's called the SOAR surprise. And, you know, we have some kind of a fun activity that they all get to participate in. And we'll be talking about that in our second session. So just if you want to know. And they also get a donut, because you will hear the student voice let us know that winning the JET just was not quite enough. They wanted food. So it was donuts, and that is how it came to be a donut. And then they also get, you know how those keychains that they carry on their backpacks all the time? Because that's like the cool thing now. So we found little jets, so they collect the jets to hang on their backpack. Okay, then along with the JET winners, there's a bulletin board. You can see it right there. We have taken their picture, and each week they're like thumbs up or peace out, you know. So it looks like they're flying in the JET, and that's located right outside our cafeteria. And so that the kids are so proud when they walk by and they're like, look, you know, I'm the JET winner this week. And we also got little trophies. So the JET winner for the week can keep the trophy on their desk, just as just a reminder of all of their SOAR behavior that we're acknowledging. And the emblem on that, on our trophy, our SOAR ambassadors designed. So, and then we have a TV, and we put our SOAR pictures and events and winners and on our TV monitor. Okay, so SOAR tickets. That is our thing that we hand out. Safe, organized, accountable, respectful. So you can see a little picture there. And something that we're super excited about that we just started this year is we now include the bus drivers. So our administrator, along with Shadia, I think, right, talked with the bus drivers, explained the program to them, and now they give out SOAR tickets to students who are soaring on the bus. And, you know, we weren't sure how it was going to go over. They are, both the bus drivers and the kids are loving it. They're so excited to come in and go, I got a ticket off from the bus driver. And then we have staff incentives. So now the bus drivers, if they gave a SOAR ticket out, their name is now in. And the one bus driver that got chosen, he was just smiling ear to ear because he got a gift card to some place and some candy, you know. But so that's something new that we just put in there. And then our mystery motivator is our every other week reward. That's what we call ours. It's a mystery motivator, and that's where, you know, we pull a ticket out from all the tickets we've gathered for 2 weeks. Take that ticket out. It's a random drawing. Then we have different activities to do. Our PTO actually has stepped up and helped a lot. We have a parent on our committee, and so she comes to our Tier 1 meetings, and then they usually take one mystery motivator for us a month, and then we do one a month, which, we're all really, really busy. So if your PTO is willing to get involved on your Tier 1, I suggest bring them in, because, it does help a lot. It helps you out a lot. And then another thing, just real quick on the mystery motivators. So we discovered that the older kids, the 4th and 5th graders, were sometimes getting a little less excited about winning mystery motivator. So we were trying to figure out why. And it was one of my students the one time, and he didn't want to go to one of our big, I think it was our Halloween mystery motivator. And I was like, Anson, why don't you want to go to the Halloween thing? And he goes, because none of my friends got picked. So his friend's name didn't get, and it was one of his social times, right? And he didn't want to miss that. So what we've done is 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, if their name is pulled out, then they get to choose a friend that they can take. So that's just another way. And for us, it was good. It got more kids involved in the bi-weekly rewards that we offer. Okay, and then we also have a school-wide incentive. So this is a ticket tumbler. It sits in the front of our, right inside our school. It's actually really, really pretty because it has lights in there. So it's kind of like glows. And then we have tape on there, and we dump the tickets in the tumbler every 2 weeks, right? So every 2 weeks after we pull the mystery motivator, the ambassadors go down and put all the tickets in the tumbler. And the kids love watching it fill up. So they'll be like, we're almost there, we're almost there. So we did have one already this year, and we did a dance party. So the whole school stopped. They put music over the, loudspeaker, and we were all dancing, and we had popcorn as a snack. So something, quick. It took 10 minutes of our day, so teachers weren't upset, giving up 10 minutes. That was just their brain break, because, we all give those little breaks.
And it's the whole school celebrating together, so again, promotes that positive culture and bringing everyone together at once.
And 4th and 5th grade, we went out in third grade. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we're in one hallway. And so we all went out to the hallway, and Shaddy comes up, and she's like, oh my gosh, we were all in the hallway. And
2nd grade had a conga line going, and then 3rd grade picked up, and it was the whole thing.
yeah. So it doesn't cost any money to do a whole school dance party. So, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So these are just, I know that was really quick, but I want to get to the focus of our talk, because our SOAR ambassadors they've really made our program so much better. And I'm so excited for you to hear how we went about doing that and the changes. Just wanted you to understand what all of these things are that they're going to be talking about. Okay?
All right, and before we go on, all of those mystery motivators, the source of prize, those whole school incentives, we were getting burnt out on trying to figure out what to do. We're like, what other thing can we do? So the ambassadors helped with that, but we've been doing SOAR for, 15 years, 16 years. So we were one of the first. We're in Washington County. We were one of the first in Washington County. So some of the stuff that we do, we stole. We went to Penn Hills and to their school, and they did mystery motivators, and we were like, and they gave out tickets. We're like, okay, that sounds good, so we'll steal it. But we're doing another session in the afternoon, and it's just about motivators, just listing all the things that we've done over the years, just for some ideas, how
It's called Pin This.
Oh, pin this, sorry.
kind of the Pinterest theme, you know. Yeah, and we try to give little descriptions, you'll have a handout, just because we know how much time that takes. And now we have a list too, so we don't have to sit there and talk about things for 20 minutes to figure it out.
Yeah.
So we would love to share with you.
Yes, yes.
Time saver.
Yes, yes. So, and you can see, we like themes. So we did the boys theme and the pin theme. We have to have a theme. This makes some of our members very happy. So here are the steps that we have kind of gone through to get to where we are right now. So I'm going to start with singing the tune, of course. How did we start and how's it going? The auditions, showtime, and then a standing ovation, because we have to keep with the theme. Okay, so this is how we started. So we always had wanted to add the student voice, because when you do that thing at the end of the year, the whatever it is, tips, whatever, Katrina comes and Amy, TFI, whatever. I don't know, there's lots of letters. I did special ed for 27 years, so there's lots of like little letters running around in my head. So that, you know, like students, involvement, student voice, that kind of thing. We're like, yes, how do we do this? We're like hamster in a wheel, like mystery motivator, tier 2, tier 3, because we are a small school and we're one team. Like everybody's on one team except our parent. She's only on tier 1. So we're like, how do we do this? How do we do this? So what we decided was the year after COVID hit, we did hybrid. That's how we got through the year. So we had, blue group, because we're blue and gold, blue group, Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday was all online, Thursday, Friday. So we had classes that were half the size. So that year allowed us the time to really focus on some things, because I was the support teacher at the time, and I wasn't running like a crazy person like I used to be, co-teaching in all the classrooms. Like there would be days where my kids are online, they weren't, so I didn't have to go. So we had a lot of time. So that was the decision-making year where we decided we can do this now. We have time. So we started thinking about it like after Christmas, and how are we going to do this? And then it was about March when we started doing interviews, introducing it to the kids, figuring out what it was going to look like, and the kids helped with that a lot. So initially in that first year, we decided we were going to do 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, because we're K to 5. So we're like, okay, those guys are old enough, they can give us some input. So we did applications. We went to the classrooms and we did a presentation about what an ambassador is, what they would be doing. Then there was a link, they did a Google form, which was the application. I believe it's in the papers. And then we read through all of those and talked to some of their references, and that was a little bit entertaining too, to see some of their answers. Yes. Okay, sorry, I'll shut up. So then we went to, so we picked 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Then the following year, we went, too many. So we kept the kids that were 3rd and 4th from the year before, and those were our ambassadors for the following year. And in that time, they just kind of helped with incentives. They would give us some input. They did climate survey with the kids. That's how we found out they wanted something when they got the jet. They wanted a donut. They also gave us some, the first year, they gave us some input as to where things were happening that we didn't know they were happening. Because we can't be everywhere, and we try. You have signs for the bathrooms, you have signs for the hallway, up and down the stairs, for everywhere. And the kids let us know that there were some things happening, like in those more unstructured times, even though you have your matrix. Like there were things happening, maybe in the cafeteria, the bathroom. Things were happening, in the bathroom. Of course, always the bus. Our buses are K to 12 because we're such a vast district, like square mileage wise. So they're K to 12. So there were things happening, and we did not know that at that time. So
that was a great way for us to go, okay, there's some things we need to address.
I can just jump in there. And the students didn't feel like they were snitching, because they went to one of the ambassadors, so it was their peer. And then the ambassadors had meetings, so it's not like they knew, oh, so-and-so went to talk to the principal, right? So, and there was some pretty big stuff that we found out about, and that we probably would never have known if we didn't have the ambassadors that year, because the kids felt comfortable talking to their friends, their peer, and then those kiddos brought it to us.
And then last year was the kids helped brainstorm some incentives, our mystery motivators, and they were amazing. We did a Nailed It. If you've ever seen the Nailed It show, we did a Nailed It. That was their idea. They ran the session. It was awesome. We loved it. It's one we'll keep. The floor is lava. They came up with, I can't even remember what the other ones are that they came up with, but those were theirs. And then they told us what they needed, what they wanted it to look like, and then they ran those sessions.
We had to rein them in, so.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. They were like, yes, and I'm like, yes, yes, no. And then I said, we have no budget, so like, bring it in, like, so, and they do they have another bulletin board that they design and decorate and change. Sometimes it'll have like pockets in it where they can take out like little sayings or just a motivational saying, but they design those and they do them. We also have a scrapbook that we've been working on for a long time, and it's coming. They do all the announcements, those little things that we were like, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for this, when am I going to do this, when am I going to do this? They love to do that stuff. Okay.
Okay, just pull that up, go ahead.
Okay, Dina, shut up. Yeah, it's her turn. Okay.
So I just wondered, you said, sure, it's hard for staff because they don't have time, but also students don't have a lot of time too, so I was just curious, how do your students have the time?
What I do is like, question. How
The
do,
question was, how do students have time?
yes, we don't have time, how the students have time. Our students start arriving at 7:30 and school starts at 8, and then our school day ends at 3, and they're there till 3:30 with buses. So I will come in early and I will meet with them. Shadia will do some of the things during a time that she has. They'll come during lunch, and a lot of the things are just like, they do them every week, so they just go get the stuff and they do it. They go grab the tickets. They don't need us to do that. And then we have collaboration time from 3 to 3:30, so I meet with them from 3 to 3:20 so that they don't miss their bus.
And they did meet at lunchtime a lot, and they just knew that, that was part of an added responsibility.
Yeah.
And they were okay with that.
Yeah.
And they knew if they missed any assignments or anything that
Yes.
was important, they had to make it up.
Yes,
So
because
that's
they will.
important.
Coming over the summer.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
and we
can
have them
in
come
the
in
summer.
a little bit over the summer to help get things ready for the school year, and they love it.
All right, so step 2, auditions. So we start with our current SOAR ambassadors, and they go to each of the classrooms for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and they conduct a presentation talking about what is a SOAR ambassador, what are the responsibilities of a SOAR ambassador, what do they like about being a SOAR ambassador. So one of the team members accompanies them for each of the classrooms just to supervise, but the SOAR ambassadors come up with the presentation themselves. So that's something that when they sit with Dina, they kind of work on that presentation, and then they share it with the students. They answer their questions. So that's step 1 of the auditions. Then step 2 is we share this link, a Google form, which is part of the copies that you got. It is the second page, start of the second page. And they share it with the students that are interested, again, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
And we give them about a week or so to thoroughly think about that paperwork and to answer the best that they can. We remind them of spelling, and we review the questions as well, because we have learned that they might not understand exactly what we're looking for. So, for example, we had strengths. What are your strengths, right? You would think that they would know what that means. Well, when the team reviews the audition forms, we find that some of them, it is a fun day.
It's very humorous.
For example, we have found that a student's strength is to lift logs. And to then, another strength, because we asked for 2 strengths, the second strength was to throw logs. So, God bless them. So, we had to clarify that. So that was also something that we've learned. We've got to be reminded of what we our expectations and that they're aware of it.
Very little. What are your strengths? My hands.
My hands, yes, that's a common one.
I was like, oh.
Yes. So that's always something that, like Carly said, we love that day, just to kind of hear their input as well. And also part of that form is a referral. So they have to get a reference. So it's interesting to see who are the teachers or the staff members that they would like as a reference listed on their application.
Yeah, and they can't pick their current teacher.
They cannot pick their current teacher. All right. So, okay. So we go on. So after the students have filled out the application, we as a team discuss it, like you've heard. We have a team meeting, and that's a company as a whole that takes up the whole meeting. And we pick the top that we feel, based upon on paper, they are making it on to be a SOAR ambassador. After that, we interview them. So it's usually a team of us, those that are available, myself, the principal, and we invite the current SOAR ambassadors. So just the top 5th grade, I would say those maybe that have been there a couple years. We usually have about 2 of them, and they sit in on the interview as well. So on your packet, the first page are the questions that we ask for the interview, and the SOAR ambassadors ask questions too. Okay, they might even add questions. And what we've noticed from the SOAR ambassadors that we have picked to be part of the interview process, they were phenomenal. So they would not only fill it out based upon what the students have answered, but they would write notes on the sides of, like, made eye contact, confident, strong voice, explained well. And I did not even explain that to them. I just said, ask the question, be respectful. They might have added a few questions as well. So that was really good input too, that, they knew what to look for, and they had input of, maybe some people that we should consider. So that was next. We do that with the auditions, and then we pick and the numbers fluctuate. Like you've heard, some years we've had big ambassadors because it's hard to choose, and then some we've had a decent amount. Yeah, sure, go for it.
It's so important to not only get that interview, like the written piece, but also that in-person piece as
yes.
well. Because, like, thinking about myself, I'm better at certain things than others. So if they don't write well, they might interview well. And you're trying to look at the whole child to represent the team, the SOAR ambassador team.
Yeah, and I was going to say that. So, we always try to keep in mind that this isn't an intervention. This is, part of our team. It's not, we can't use this as an intervention. Maybe of a student that's struggling, this isn't an intervention.
Yeah, sometimes we'll come across a student we really want to
Yeah.
this could build their confidence.
Right.
But we always, this is a program we have to remind ourselves
not an
to
intervention.
possess those qualities. So we struggle with that sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot.
So, okay, and then, so once we picked our team, then the next part is we congratulate them. We meet with them. We send a letter home. As you can see, I think that is the second page of your packet is the letter we send home. But we also go over a contract with them, right? So they have to know our expectations. I don't think it is part of your packet, but you can see a picture of it right there. We just go over that they can't have write-ups. They have to hold their responsibilities in the classroom. They have to be responsible with their responsibilities as a SOAR ambassador. They have to be showing SOAR, right? So as the leaders of the school. So, and we go through that if we do not follow these expectations, then there are consequences, and there's like a degree in which, you know, how many times that we break one of the expectations. So the first one is, you know, they'll just talk with me and Dina and just, you know, review the expectations. The second time if they get written up, they are going to miss their responsibilities. Maybe they can't participate in the SOAR, into the mystery motivators or the JET winners. They can't help with that. So they lose responsibility. And then the third time, unfortunately, we ask that they are not on the team. So we've only had to do that, I think, once in the several years that we've done it. So again, that was even our first year, I think. So we've learned from it. And also, too, on the back side of the letter that goes home to the parents is the contract, so that they learn, you know, they know what our expectations are. Okay.
Oh, and we ask them to reapply
Yes.
every year.
Yes.
That's something that we learned.
Yes.
Like, I think the one student that we had to let go was one of those ambassadors that was in 4th grade and then moved on to 5th grade. And I think he was just done with it. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But,
And I
so
think we use it as an intervention.
we did use it as an intervention.
That's what we learned from the church, right?
Yeah.
You gotta learn.
You do
Yeah.
learn, but we ask
We
them
try.
to apply every year. Oh, I'm sorry. You say that in my, oh, we ask them to.
Oh, we ask them to apply every year. Yeah. Yes.
Just a question about that, when we're asking them to reapply,
Yeah.
if they have no previous incidents,
Yeah.
you go through interviewing them?
Yes. Yes. The whole process again. Yep.
And we don't, if they've gotten like one write-up,
Yeah.
you know, and it was something, like, we don't hold that against them, because
Nope.
we tell them, none of us are perfect, we've all done
Right.
things. So we don't want them to feel like that they can't do this because they
Right.
got one write-up, you know, a minor.
Right. So you are looking at our current team right now. This is our SOAR ambassadors. You will also see, oh, can you hear me? You will also see their shirts, right, that they have designed. They have designed this shirt to reflect SOAR with the jet.
The whole emblem
Emblem is, yep. And on the back side, on the back of the shirt is their name. So this is something that we have had, I think our parents have purchased it, or one of our our PTO has purchased it this year. Okay. And they keep it from year to year.
Yeah.
So, oh,
Sorry. The pride that they have when they wear that.
oh, yeah.
Oh, it's worth it. Like, you
Yeah.
see that pride on their faces.
Well, and we made it so that like our regular like shirts that everybody wears are blue tie-dye with yellow writing on it.
That's what everybody has.
Yes.
And then theirs are.
So theirs are the opposite of that, so that they kind of stand out. And they know most of them will wear them on Friday. If it's an incentive day, like if it's Mystery Motivator Day, they know that they'll wear them. They have a calendar. Shadia developed a calendar for them. So they know, they all get their own calendar. They know 4th grade's doing the tickets, 5th grade's doing this. So they know when they should wear their shirts.
They keep track of that better than me. I'm like,
It's
who's
way
responsible?
better.
And then also with their shirts, so when they move on to middle school in 6th grade, obviously the 5th graders take the shirts with them. But then all we have to do as a team is purchase new shirts for the upcoming 4th graders. So,
And we have a mom.
yeah,
One of our moms is.
the community,
She knows.
the shirts.
She has her own little company, so she does that.
Okay. Next, showtime.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay, well, like. Okay. What? Nope, wrong button. Okay, so showtime. These are some of the things that they do. So they prep for our incentives. They will pack treat bags for our Halloween one. They'll pack treat bags. They will set up, like a lot of them are there at 7:30 in the morning, and they will, you know, come in and they'll start to set up. If it's a smaller one, they'll come down and they'll set up, you know, right before it starts. They know that they will miss class, and if anything they miss in class, they will make up. But these are typically those kids, they're gonna make it, they typically make it up. They get ready for our, Yes, some of them will, because we have a couple kids who are pickups, and they'll ask their parents if they can come early or stay late so that they can. The Jets, they get all of that ready because we send postcards out with the Jets. They have to go through all of the photos and pick out the new winners. They have to write all of the names on the little Jets so that they're ready to go on the hundreds chart. They do all of that, and they do it all automatically now because they've all been trained. They've all been trained. That doesn't sound right, but you know. And then they participate in the hundreds chart on Friday afternoon when we're doing it. When Chatty does it, they go down. They do the whole thing. Like they help the kids in putting the picking the
They
numbers.
find the numbers, the smaller kids, they find their numbers.
Yes.
They give out the donuts, they give out the keychains, they'll grab it from the office that where it needs to go to the front lobby. It has made our lives
So much easier.
Plus, including, adding to the positive culture and adding to their voice, it's made our program run so much smoother.
Yes.
These students are still included as kids who can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like just yesterday, we had a student who was one of our ambassadors that would earn a mystery motivator.
Yes.
So she set up and everything, but she set up and everything, and they don't know who's gonna be.
No.
So then all of a sudden her name is called, I'm like, okay, time to switch over.
And
then
they
she got to participate.
yeah, and they also know, like,
Yeah.
we get ready for the Jets on Thursdays, so they know that they cannot, that's part of their contract, they cannot share anything. Like, if they know whatever the mystery motivator is gonna be, they're not allowed to share and tell everybody what it's going to be, and they don't. They do not share. So some of the things that they lead, they do have their own bulletin board that they take care of. We are in the process of working on a book, an ambassador book that will be published, that publishing company, so they're like writing and drawing the pictures and everything. Christy's
So it's
working.
like it's a book that the students are going to actually publish. They have designed the cover, and it goes over all of our SOAR expectations. So if the book will be about SOAR, so it's like SOAR on the cover, and then on the inside it's how do we soar on the playground, how do we soar in the different areas. So if we need to talk about that or review it, our SOAR ambassadors will go into the classroom and read the book. And we can talk about it. So they're reading to the kids of a book that they created, they're the authors. So it again brings that whole culture together. They're giving ownership to that.
Yeah, we also had the SOAR ambassadors, one of their jobs in the summer, they came in and helped us, renew our videos, our expectation videos. So they helped, we brought the bus in, and they were able to, load the bus and everything else. We walked them through the cafeteria. So that's a great help for us. So they're part of everything.
Yeah, because when we first started doing this, like, we would record those videos, and it was all the teachers,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like lining up and
Fun.
being at assembly and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, they're like, that's stupid, I don't want to watch that, but, so,
The interventions they provided yet?
no,
Okay.
no.
All right.
So they also, when we get new students in, they will do the student tours for them. We have taught them what they should do. Like, we did one in the summer when they were there, and we taught them what they should do. And it comes across phenomenally because they're talking to the kid that's there. Shadia is usually on there with the parents, but they're talking to the new student and explaining it to them. They're giving them the tour of the building. They're telling them all about SOAR, because there's things all over the building. They're telling them that. They also will go into classes and do lessons, per se. Last year, when we looked at our data, and one of the things was respect, which is usually the thing that pops all the time. So they picked books and practiced reading the book. Like, some of them were even like, Gerald and Piggy books, and they practiced reading them to each other, and where would they ask a question like, well, how is Piggy being, respectful or disrespectful or whatever in the books? So they did all of that, they practiced, and then they went and had a scheduled time to go read in the younger kids' classrooms. And that was their idea, because I'm like, okay, we have a disrespectful issue, we have an issue with it, what do you think we could do? So that was something that they came, were like, okay. And then, so like somebody was reading it, and then we had two other people in there, like, giving out tickets to the kids as they were, being respectful, and telling the kids, our ambassadors, when you're handing out a ticket, you tell them why they're getting it.
They were special colored tickets.
In the
Blue.
buzzer.
They were
Yeah.
blue.
So we also identified there was
Issues in bus.
in the bus rooms. So then the SOAR ambassadors then came up with the idea that maybe the SOAR ambassadors could start giving out tickets, respect tickets that were a different color in those bus rooms. So we assigned a SOAR ambassador to each bus room that had special respect tickets, so we could increase those respectful behaviors. So the kids were all over it. So, you know, when their peers were giving them a ticket, now the peers couldn't give them a ticket for everything. It was just for demonstrating respect in those specific times.
Well, and they gave him a piece of candy too,
Oh,
because they
yes,
wanted to give him a
okay, well,
piece of
there-
candy
yes,
too.
so
So,
that
yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah, so, the,
Speaking to that, they came up with that because a reason for the disrespect was often coming up as obtain peer
Yes.
approval.
Yes.
And so that,
I have to talk in the microphone.
I'm so sorry. So the reason that we started doing that from them was the ambassadors knew that it was popping on our data that they were doing these things to obtain approval from their peers. So their thought was, well, let's give them positive attention instead of them doing a behavior that's negative and getting the attention. And again, that came from them. And so it really has strengthened we're very passionate about it, if you can't tell. So,
I forgot what I was gonna say on that note.
Because we interacted with you.
Yes, thank you. I'm too old, you can't do that. So we have meetings at least weekly. Sometimes we'll have another meeting during my lunch. They did design that logo last year, I think they designed it, and we put it now on everything that we use with SOAR. During our meetings, we discuss any issues, they come up with ideas, they come up with, if they're planning an incentive, they have to plan the supply, what do we need, all of those kind of things. Sometimes the meetings are just like, okay, guys, is there something happening that we don't know that's happening? And they're like, you know, what is it? The bus. I'm like, okay, we're working on the bus. What did it? Oh, pictures.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. So, Cash is handing, like, putting his thing on the hundreds chart. There is, our emblem. This is the slideshow that they show in class. And then in the front hallway, we have a, right when you come to the front door, these are our ambassadors. So they have their own bulletin board. And then we also have a, somewhat tips meeting agenda for our SOAR meetings too. So, you know, because we have to be official. And we have to write things down or we will forget. I will forget. Okay. Am I done now? No. Yes?
We're just going through a session.
Okay, these are some of the things
Just
like our,
showing what they were doing.
yeah, our beginning assembly, beginning of the year assembly over there, and they're explaining a lot of the things.
Yeah, we bring them up for our for all of our assemblies, for our school-wide assemblies, so they explain the expectations to the students. They get really into it. They take questions.
This
So-
was the,
They pass out SOAR tickets during that assembly too.
Yes.
That are,
that was our nailed it, because the student who came up with it, that was our nailed it, and they were getting judged right there. And then, there's our St. Patrick's Day one, and then at the end of the year, the ambassadors get a glow party.
Yes.
So we do a party just for them. So we do a glow party for them.
It is really fun to see those students, like grow and evolve, because some of the kids that are SOAR ambassadors are like very quiet in the classroom and then when they get up in front of the school, it's like, oh gosh, how are they gonna do it? And then they crush it. And they're wonderful, they speak loud and clear. There's one student I'm thinking of in particular who impresses me time and time again. She like partners with a younger kid, she's fabulous, and it is really great to watch them.
Yes, that was something new that we did this year. We had, what? Yes, one student, we had, when we were meeting for tier 2 or 3, we had one student that we were like, okay, what are we gonna do? What can we do? And we're like, oh, somebody came up with the idea, why don't we use the SOAR ambassador? So, you know, thinking that this child maybe needs to know how to do this particular behavior that they were not doing. So one of our ambassadors went to see them every day. What? Oh, he couldn't stay in his area, kindergarten, of course. You know, so, what other one?
The other one.
Which other one? I thought she helped him stay in his square.
So we had SOAR ambassador.
We had another one?
We did.
Different
Okay.
one.
Video meeting for you guys. This is how we roll.
This is a tier meeting. This is exactly what they look like.
But I promise you, we follow tips. All right, so that being said, we had a student that kept getting written up for misuse of property. She was coloring all over stuff and using crayons, desk, floor. She was not getting it. Kindergarten, okay? Very limited experience in school prior to kindergarten. And so we asked the SOAR ambassador to model how to use crayons and pencils specifically, appropriately, and they practice it every single day for 4 weeks. And lo and behold, guess what? The referrals didn't happen again. And we also picked the SOAR ambassador as that type of intervention because it was coming up as peer approval. So considering she has very limited experience socializing with others at that time, we thought this is a great opportunity for her to see a leader, a role model, and using the property appropriately. And then the ambassador, part of the responsibility was to check in with the teacher to make sure that she's doing well, if there was anything else they needed to adjust on. But if if the report from the teacher was doing well, then the student would give her SOAR tickets. So she would get extra SOAR tickets when she was doing, using the crayons and pencils appropriately. And then also when the job was complete, I gave the SOAR ambassador some SOAR tickets as well, just to reinforce for her job well done. So, and currently we are just about to start. We have a group of students that are in classroom, kindergarten, struggling with self-control, staying in a bubble space, keeping their hands and feet to themselves. So this same ambassador is now transitioning to reading a book about personal space camp. Have you ever heard from Julia Cook? Going over how to stay in your personal bubble space, reading the book to her, reinforcing, and then same kind of concept, checking with the teacher and giving SOAR tickets. So that's how we use Tier 1 and Tier 2 with our SOAR ambassadors.
And it was not, because you know that's what that first child, that's what they needed. They didn't know how to do all of this stuff. And you're going, how am I going to teach this to them? How am I going to find time for this? Well, this worked out absolutely perfectly, you know, and we've always had kids that can do that. This is the first year we've actually used them as an intervention.
So we've done a lot of talking, and you've heard from us about the program and everything else. It is time to hear from our students and what they have to say. Jamal last.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Can you tell me what is your favorite part about being a SOAR ambassador?
My favorite part to be a SOAR ambassador is where I see the little kids like coming in and wanting to be the mystery motivator. And one time I remember where a kid was like, I want to be mystery motivator.
Aww.
And it was just really fun.
We put a mic on you.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Can you tell me what is your favorite part about being a SOAR ambassador?
My favorite part to be a SOAR ambassador is where I see the little kids like coming in and wanting to be the mystery motivator. And one time I remember where a kid was like, I want to be mystery motivator.
Aww.
And it was just really fun.
Okay.
Here's one more.
Hi, Ashton.
Hi.
Hi. Can you tell me why other schools should have SOAR ambassadors?
I think other schools should have SOAR ambassadors because it's very helpful to have a kid's point of view, and they experience what actually happens, and it's more efficient for teachers to figure out what's the problem and what they need to improve for their school. If a kid is telling them what a problem is, what other kids would like to see or have.
All right, last but not least.
Hi, Jamal.
Hi.
Can you tell me how you think having SOAR ambassadors helps Joe Walker School?
It helps our school because, one, when we want to come up with ideas, we tell you the ideas, and two, whenever there's somebody that saw something and they wanted to tell us then they could report it to us, and then we could report it to you or the PBIS team. 3, we're also helping you do things that sometimes you can't do because there's some other important things you need to do. And we're doing you a favor, and we're doing our school a favor. 4, whenever
Yeah, I just that wasn't louder. But it's just the kids being asked questions about why it's important for other schools to have this and reiterating everything basically that we just said. Having that student voice, like the last friend said, is so important because it gives them that feeling. They're not scared. They feel the ownership. And we can't speak highly enough for our kids. They really are the stars of the show because they bring it all together. We might put in some back work, but they are the ones day in and day out continuing to, instill that through the building so that it continues.
And we wanted to present this. We wanted to present this because when we decided to do this, it was really hard to find things that some other, because you go, what school has done something like this, then we could find it. We had a really difficult time finding something, especially at an elementary level. So we had to come up with a lot of the things on our own, trial and error, of course. And so we thought, because it has had such a huge impact, that it was important to share it since it was difficult to find anything, especially at an elementary level.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Sarah's talking.
Hi, Ashton.
Now they were all talking at the same time.
So thank you guys for coming and attending. Are there any questions about our program, what we do, the kids?
How big is your building?
A little over 200 kids.
Our building is a little over 200.
Oh, sorry, I forget that part.
Now you have to repeat the question.
How do you fund some of your activities? Like, you have a small budget for like popcorn, t-shirts.
The question was, how do we fund some of our activities? And yes, that has gotten really fun over the last however many years. So like when we did the popcorn, we have a Rural King that's near us, and one of our moms works there. She's like a manager or whatever. So the popcorn, because Rural King has the popcorn, they donated the popcorn for that. The PTO, that's part of the reason we had asked them to do one of the incentives a month, because we just couldn't, because we were paying, a lot of it we were paying, out of pocket on our own. So like we do have a little bit of a budget, but not a lot. So we did, this year we're planning on doing, because of course our budget got cut more. So we had a very small budget, and then it got very smaller. We're doing some fundraisers with the PTO, because we didn't want to step on their toes, because our PTO is phenomenal. So we didn't want to take away from anything that they were doing. So we've kind of joined forces and are going to do some fundraisers
One of the
with them.
fundraisers that we did do that was fabulous was at open house, we sold candy grams. The SOAR ambassadors ran the booth, and we went over scripts for them, trying to sell the product and getting them excited about it. So they sold candy grams to parents and families that we then had for each of the classes. Some parents bought them for the whole class, but
And lemonade.
Oh, and lemonade. Have for the drink too.
Yeah.
So they sold both of those things, and we made a lot of
Like
money.
$300 or $400.
For those. And we
Yeah.
even had a parent reach out to us saying, you should do that again, sell candy grams again. And we're going to, our idea is that since this is the first time that we did it, we're going to do off holidays. So you do a lot for Christmas. Our hope, I don't know if we're gonna pull it off, but we're probably going to. Thanksgiving, like a thankful gram, something like that. So the off holidays, you celebrate Valentine's Day, what can we do instead? So we're gonna try again to do those candy grams that the SOAR ambassadors will sell.
And what we do also is there'll be one that a parent who, not everybody's going to send that in or have the money to send it in. We are about almost 40-some, close to 50% free and reduced. So if they want to send this one in, it's a letter, and that's not a cost. If you want to send it in with whatever treat, then it's, $2 or whatever, so that everybody can kind of participate with it.
We did a pencil with a pencil top.
Yes, pencil with yes, for kids with allergies.
So I just wanted to get a sense of the time lapse, because the things you talked about at the end, like where your ambassadors were becoming kind of mentors to other students and things like that, I imagine came later after you had been doing the ambassador thing for a long time.
Absolutely.
So can you just talk about like the time lapse for what you started with and then when you started to introduce more layers to it?
Sure, yes, and I probably didn't do that. My ADHD kicked in. What? Repeat the question. The timeline for implementation. That hybrid year, we met with the kids. They helped us do the incentives. They didn't come up with anything. They did tell us about when we go to get a jet, when we go to put our name on, they wanted some tangible thing, and that was where the donut came from. And then they also told us about like where there were some things that were happening. So that was like our basic first year, and that was like half a year. So the following year, we added more of them, like that year was more of them like doing the
understanding. That,
yes.
Wow, they have a lot of knowledge
Yes.
that we have not tapped into.
Yes.
How do we tap into this?
Yes. So that second full year, it was a lot of them helping us do all of those things that we didn't have time for and getting more of their input. And then by the time we got around to the next year, all of that stuff, we had worked it all out. And, trial and error. And we're like, okay, this stuff we're just doing automatically. We really started to ask for a lot of their input last year in doing coming up with their own mystery motivators, coming up with their own ideas. What do you guys think? And then this year is when we've really taken on using them in that other way as, an intervention.
So kind of almost a 4 years.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And a lot of trial and it, like that didn't work,
And the kids coming up are seeing all of that.
Yes.
So like the kindergarten, they're seeing it every single year, like what the SOAR ambassadors are doing. So they're becoming more familiar with the SOAR ambassadors and all the different things that they do. So then when it's their time or their chance, then they have a familiar.
Well, yeah, and it's also getting, people to be okay with having kids doing these things. Like we had to go, okay, if we have them do this, it's okay. So we had to kind of introduce it. Some people don't get on the bus all the time. And we're done, we got a minute. But it was a lot of trial and error, and it did take us, about 4 years to get in, to really get to where we are now. And we still add stuff all the time.
With the t-shirts, do you buy their own t-shirts? Do you buy them from the store? How does that go?
The SOAR Ambassador t-shirts are bought by the PTO, and then the blue t-shirts that we all wear, the PTO buys them new for kindergarten every year, and then one time when they get older. And after that, they have to purchase. We had a kid lose their SOAR Ambassador shirt. She had to buy her own new one,